All right. Well, thank you so much. Here we are on the Yoga Bo channel. My name is Boyce, aka the Sleepy Yogi. You won't be able to see it today. I'm wearing my sunshades here at Spring Park in Green Cove Springs. We've got a nice live class here at 8:30 in the morning. I've got some smiling faces looking at me, some friends and family. Thank you so much for joining. Make this practice your practice. So by all means, if anything starts to feel uncomfortable, feeling any pinching, pains, nodding, anything like that, by all means, back it down. Make this practice your own. Feel free to grab some props, bolsters, blankets, blocks if you have them nearby. And we'll go ahead and get started. This will be a pretty basic 45-minute mind-body class. Here we are in our easy seat. We'll go ahead and ground with our sits bones. Maybe we've got a block under our tail, maybe a blanket for support, and we'll sit tall through the crown. Our shoulders are looped up, back, and down. And maybe on an inhale, we'll just float our arms up, taking a big inhale on a 4 count. And on the exhale, we'll float those arms down once again, counting to 4. We're going to do this one more time. Inhaling big on 4 count through the nose. Reaching through those fingertips, making sure the shoulders are away from the ears. Exhaling, our arms can now float down. Awesome. All right, we'll start our little warm up in our supine position, laying on our back. So we can go ahead and make our way there. I'll find my favorite hip, gently roll down. You can maybe grab the back of your thighs, rocking down gently. Once we're here, we'll take just a moment. Continue those 4 count inhales and exhalations, staying with that breath throughout this practice, making sure that we maintain that calm, even, steady breath. And maybe as we start to settle down into the mat, we start to feel the toes fall out wide. Maybe the shoulders start to relax. Staying with those 4 counts in, feeling the belly rise, followed by that deep exhale, gently feeling that belly fall. And maybe on the next inhale, we'll ground that left foot and anchor that down and send our right foot up to the ceiling. We can use our arms for support. We'll start flexing and extending that right leg, bending at the knee. Maybe we're also bending at the ankle at the same time. Just giving some fluid to these hinge joints. Using our arms for support, shoulders relaxed. And maybe on that next inhale, we'll extend that leg and start to make circles into the ceiling with our toes on that right foot. Feeling that stretch in the top of the foot. Maybe you're feeling that stretch in the back of the leg. We can reverse direction. And when you're ready, we can bring that right leg down a bit. Maybe we can use our hand for support, but we'll start working that hip into circles. Maybe it's small circles, big circles, whatever's comfortable. This is your practice. Feel free to use your arms for stabilizers, laying them out wide. And when you get to a center point, you can reverse direction. This is a good time to start thinking about that intention, maybe. Intention for the practice, for the day, for the week. We can go ahead and bring that right knee to center. We'll take the right ankle, cross it over our left knee for our supine pigeon. We can keep that left foot grounded if you like, letting gravity open up that right hip. Or we can use our hands once again to hold those relaxed legs in place, maybe just deepening that stretch. Maybe our toes are starting to wiggle. Maybe wake up a little bit, staying with those deep breaths. Maybe we rock side to side a little bit, just seeing how that slight change feels. And maybe on that next exhale, we let that right foot or left foot come down. We can unbind those legs. We'll send that left leg or left foot to the end of the mat. And with our left hand, we can guide that right knee across our body. We're now stacking our hips. The left hip should be over our right. Right hip over the left. Maybe on an exhale, we take that gaze and we look over our right shoulder, twisting out the spine, detoxing from the night before. Maybe too many glasses of wine at Reds. And on an inhale, we'll ride that breath to center, that knee comes up. And on the exhale, that right knee can fall wide. Once again, letting gravity just gently open up that right hip. And on an inhale, we'll bring that knee to center. We can go ahead and send that leg to the end of the mat. Now both of our feet are at the end of the mat. We'll take just a moment just to take a second and scan those legs. Maybe see how our right side might feel a little bit different than the left. Maybe it's a little bit more spacious. And when you're ready, we can walk that right leg in to anchor down. We can send that left heel up to the ceiling. Start to flex that knee, that left ankle. Want to make sure that left leg matches our right. We'll be walking in circles all day long, if not. Maybe you notice each extension, that leg gets a little bit straighter. Some of that tension, some of that fascial tissue just releases each time. We can start making those circles with our left toe in the ceiling. Maybe we're making those fluffy little clouds. When you're ready, we can reverse direction. Making sure we embrace all these little crackles and pops. Making sure there's no pain or discomfort. And when you're ready, we'll bring that left leg in a bit. Start working out that hip. Small circles, big circles, whatever's in your practice. Staying with those deep breaths as we work these larger bones and these larger muscles. So important to keep that even 4-count breath. When you're ready, we can reverse that direction. We can go ahead and bring that leg towards our center. We'll take that left ankle now, cross it over our right knee. We can leave that right foot grounded. We can bring that up closer if that's in our practice. Whatever feels good. Once again, those legs are relaxed. Our arms are doing all the work, but our shoulders are also relaxed. Maybe you wiggle the toes again. And on an exhale, we can release. If our foot is already there, we'll go ahead and unbind those legs. This time, we'll send that right leg to the end of the mat. Taking our right hand, we can just gently bring that left knee across our body. Once again, twisting the spine. Maybe on another exhale, that gaze goes now to your left. This is a great detox. And on the inhale, we'll bring that left knee to center, floating it up. And on the exhale, it can fall out wide, letting science do its job. And remember, throughout this practice, make sure you focus on that breath, where the mind goes, the body goes, the energy goes. And on an inhale, we'll bring that knee in. We can now send both legs out long at the end of the mat. Here we are laying in our supine mountain or corpse pose. Let's just take just a moment, now feeling the legs, both of them hopefully matched, feeling energy starting to wake up. We can walk those feet towards our body, maybe reaching down, grabbing the knees, hugging them in, maybe just holding the knees, rocking side to side if you'd like. Feeling good. And whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and find our easy seat. We can start rocking if you like, take a few rocks and find our way up. We can find our favorite hip and push up with our top hand. What's happening, y'all? Take a moment, grab a block if you like, in front of your tailbone. We can sit tall in the back and shoulders loop back and down. Once again, on an inhale, we're going to float our arms up overhead, reaching through the fingertips. Our shoulders are away from the ears. Shoulder blades are sliding down our back. The core is engaged. Maybe we open and close those hands. Starting to wake up our upper body, the legs feeling good. And on an inhale, we'll reach tall. And on the exhale, maybe that right hand floats down as a kickstand. And we reach over our right side, getting a stretch in that left. We can ground down with our left sits bone, helping pulling us back to center, but feeling more stable. Maybe we ride that breath coming up slightly on an inhale, feeling buoyant. And on the exhale, we just fall down in that stretch just a little deeper, making sure our shoulders are away from our ears, shoulders are nice and relaxed. And on an inhale, we can float our arms up. We'll meet that counter, exhaling now to our left side. Again, tall in the spine. We're stretching this out, reaching with this hand, pressing down through that now right sits bone. And on an inhale, we can come up. And on the exhale, we'll make little fists and gently work out those wrists in circles. Maybe once we get to our shoulders, we reverse direction. Love seeing these smiles. Love seeing smiles. And now that our hands are down, maybe in our lap, we'll do a seated twist. On an inhale, we're sitting nice and tall through the spine. Maybe we use our right hand once again for a kickstand. Our left hand can be on our right knee. And on the inhale, we'll sit tall in the crown. And on the exhale, we'll twist. Maybe starting with those lower lumbar. And then on the next inhale, sitting tall once again. And on the second exhale, maybe we go a little bit deeper into that twist, starting to engage and twist that thoracic and cervical spine. Maybe you're gazing over your right shoulder. Staying with those breaths. It's more difficult, but that's part of the practice. And on an inhale, or exhale, we can release, coming back to center. And we'll find our way on the next side. Now our left hand can be a kickstand. Our right hand can be on our knee for support. Once again, tall in the spine. Maybe your gaze is now out the left corner of your eye, giving your eye a bit of yoga stretching as well. Thinking about that intention possibly. And on an inhale, we can float our hands back to center. And here we are in that easy seat, looking forward. We'll go ahead and find that first tabletop. If you need any support for your knees, by all means, grab a blanket or some props that are handy. We'll go ahead and find our favorite hip and swing our feet around. We're stacking bones now. Our hands are under our shoulders. The knees are under our hips. We're in our tabletop. We're feeling nice and strong, grounding down. Our fingers are spread. Maybe the tops of our shins and the tops of our feet are pressing down as well. Our back is flat. Shoulders are away from the ears. Engaged in our tummy. We're feeling strong in this tabletop pose, this grounding pose. And staying with those long inhales and exhales. On the next inhale, we'll find that our head and tail slowly rise, dropping our navel and belly for our first cow of the day, making sure not to decompress that lower lumbar. And maybe on the exhale, the head and tail start to drop. The belly button starts to rise for our first cat. We can inhale back to cow, riding that breath if you like. Feel free to stay static, whatever's in your practice. Exhaling, we'll go back to cat. Pressing down through those fingers, not the palms, maybe pressing forward as well. We can go for one more round of, if you like, maybe you wag your hips. Once again, embracing all those little pops and crackles. If you're exhaling into cat, this will be our last one, maybe our fullest expression. As we inhale, we'll come back to our neutral spine. On that exhale, our hands can come to the top of the mat. We'll slowly lower down to the belly for our cobras. If you want to put that blanket or pillow under your pelvic triangle, by all means, go for it. So your chin could be resting on the mat, maybe your favorite cheek. Our hands are under our shoulders, our fingers spread wide, our legs are relaxed. And on an inhale, we'll press down with that pelvic triangle, lifting our head and maybe the tops of our shoulders gently. Maybe your hands can come up. And on the exhale, we'll slowly lower down, making sure not to put any pressure on our back. And maybe on that second inhale, we'll press down through the pelvic triangle. This time we keep our hands down, maybe a little engaged, maybe a rib comes up, maybe not. And on the exhale, we'll come right back down to the mat, just slowly finding our favorite cheek on that mat. And on the third and final inhale, we'll find our fullest expression, our head maybe shining tall, our heart shining forward, shoulder blades close together. And on the exhale, we slowly lower down, finding the mat with our favorite cheek. We'll put a bend in our knees, windshield wipering our legs, relaxing that lower back, releasing all that tension. We can go ahead and place those hands under our shoulders. Feet can come to the mat, curling our toes. And on an inhale, we can press down through those fingers through tabletop. We're going to find our first child's pose of today. So our big toes can be close together. Our knees can be close or far apart. The hips are going to sink closer to your heels. Maybe the brow line finds your mat. Your hands can be out forward, nice and relaxed, reaching, stretching that upper back. Maybe your hands are by your side or binding. We're going to take just a moment, scan the body. We've started to wake things up, about to get into our first down dog of the day, really engaging those muscles. But for right now, we're just taking a moment, staying with that breath. Once again, focusing on our body, any places that maybe we need that energy to go. On an inhale, if your hands are out front, we can press down through those hand locks and those fingers. We can curl those toes, maybe lift the knees an inch or two off the mat. And on an exhale, the hips can go high, finding our down dog. If you prefer a puppy pose, by all means, we can do that, or back to child's pose. We'll pedal these heels out, walking that dog. Maybe the heels are getting closer to the mat. Our ears are still away from our shoulders. Shoulders are still sliding down our back. And on an inhale, we can lift the heels. Exhale, we'll bend the knees and slowly walk or step our feet to the center of the mat. Maybe we walk our hands to our legs. We'll get our feet set, and on an inhale, we'll use our legs for assistance, finding a half lift. Our back is now flat. Our knees are slightly bent for center of gravity. Maybe our hands are on our legs for assistance. Shoulder blades are close together. The gaze is down. Here's our half lift. We're very strong. We're going to stay here for one more breath. On the inhale, maybe you feel your rib cage expand. Maybe those back ribs expand as well. And on the exhale, we can release gently, Stay in a half lift if you like, or you can come to your forward fold, letting your knees bend more. Now your torso and your body are resting on your thighs. Maybe your head hangs low. Maybe you can use your hands on the mat for support. Feeling relaxed in the jaw. And on an inhale, we'll root down through the fingers, our feet coming back to our half lift. We're going to pause here until we make our way to mountain. And on the next inhale, we can root through those feet, standing tall, taking the bend out of our knees. Here we are in mountain pose. Like always, I will build it from the feet up. It's a great practice to keep strong in this mountain pose on the mat, because what we'll do is we'll take it out into our day-to-day practice, getting that good posture, making sure our bones are stacked properly. So our feet are hip width-ish apart. Toes and feet are pointed forward. Maybe you rock back and forth to kind of find what feels good. We'll spread those toes out nice and wide so we have a very strong, comfortable base. Slight bend in the knees only so that they're not locked. Our tailbone is tucked. We're feeling strong. Shoulders are looped up, back, and down. Our ears are over our shoulders so we're not projecting forward. Hands can be shining forward so that our chest is open, shoulder blades together. And here we are. This is mountain pose. This is where we should be, engaged 20%, standing tall, feeling strong. And on an inhale, we'll go ahead and root through those feet, reaching through those fingertips, engaging those muscles. Go ahead and tighten those muscles, open and close those fingers. This is a relaxed and gentle practice, but we're also trying to wake up those energy lines as well. And on an exhale, we'll go ahead and do a half moon while standing, letting that right hand fall. Maybe it's on our hip for support. We're reaching with the left arm over our head, grounding through that left foot. And on the inhale, we'll bring it back up. Once again, feel strong. That's the goal. We want to feel strong. And on the exhale, we relax, now stretching that right side. And on an inhale, we'll bring those hands back up. And on the exhale, we can let them fall out wide and down. So we'll go ahead and do some warriors today. We'll go ahead and start with warrior one. I'll put my right foot forward. Left foot's going to come back. It's a roughly half to full mat shape, whatever feels strong in the base. So with the warrior one, you've got a slight bend in that front right knee. You want to make sure that that knee is not far forward so that it's over your ankle. Your back leg, left leg, the heel can be down. It can also be up if you want to be in a crescent warrior with your hips forward. If your heel is down, your hips are going to be open. We're tall through the crown. We feel nice and strong in this base. Our legs are engaged so we can feel these muscles tensing up. And on an inhale, we'll float our arms up, overhead, framing our ears. On the exhale, we can just hinge to that right side. Here we are in warrior one. Maybe your hands are by your hips. Maybe they're in cactus or eagle, whichever you prefer. But we're making sure we just stay tall in the base and firm in the base. Maybe your feet are finding the right spot. Here we are, reaching tall once again through those fingers. And on an inhale, we'll reach. And on the exhale, we can hinge our torso towards the long edge of the mat, floating our arms down. And here we are, warrior one. Staying firm in this base, really hasn't moved much. Our shoulders are now nice and relaxed. We're not up here by our ears. We're relaxed and down. Our gaze can be over our middle finger, over that right hand. We're going to stay here for just a breath, feeling nice and strong, reaching through those fingertips. And on the next inhale, we'll hinge forward. Maybe the palm comes up on the right hand. Exhale, we reach that right hand to the ceiling. The gaze can be forward, it can be up or down. That left hand can be on your thigh, it can be resting on the small of your back. But once again, that base is strong, and we're stretching that side fascial tissue. And on an exhale, those hands can come back to warrior two, floating off to the side. And on the inhale, we'll take the bend out of that right knee. We'll take that right toe pointing towards the long end of the mat. Here we are in our five-pointed star. You can heel toe your feet together if you like, but your toes are pointed out, your heels are in, your tailbone is tucked, and you're reaching through those fingertips, reaching through the crown, staying with those long 4-count inhales and exhales. Inhaling and stretching, that diaphragm contracting. And exhale, we can release. We'll take that right toe, point it towards the long end of the mat. We'll take the left toe, now pointed towards what's now the front of the mat. We're gonna do that warrior one on the left side. Now we've got a bend in our left knee. Right leg can be straight or slightly bent. Maybe that heel is down or up, whichever's comfortable in your practice. Inhaling those hands tall. Exhaling, maybe we hinge that torso, now facing our left leg. Here we are in warrior one. Again, the hands can be wherever we want. They can be by our side. They can be on our hips. They can be in gratitude, whatever feels good. And on an exhale, we can float those, we can float those arms out to the side, bringing our torso to the long end of the mat for our warrior two. The base is still strong. Those legs are engaged. We're feeling it. And on an inhale, we can hinge those hips forward. That left palm can face up. And on the exhale, we'll reach tall, grounding through those feet. The hips are open. We'll inhale to our fullest expression. Exhale, we'll bring those hands to our side body once again into our warrior two. Staying here for just one more inhale, followed by a deep exhale. And on the next inhale, we'll take the bend out of that left knee. We can bring those toes to the long end of the mat. Our torso is facing the long end of the mat. Here we are in our 5-pointed star again. Feel free to heel toe your feet close if you like. Toes are pointed out, heels are in. Tailbone is tucked, reaching through the crown, reaching through those fingers, taking up as much space as we can. Exhale, we'll release. And we'll go ahead and start finding our way back down to the mat. It's a pretty gentle practice for the morning just to wake us up. I'm going to come back to the mat the way I came up. So I'll go half lift and then forward fold. And then I'll find my way all the way down. So here we go. In mountain pose, my feet are feeling stable as I get ready for that half lift. I'm going to reach up on the inhale. And on the exhale, my hands can go wide. They can be in gratitude, but I'll hinge at the hips. Bending at the knees for center of gravity. Maybe my hands are on my thighs for support. I'm engaged in my core. I'm engaged in my lower back, tall through the crown. I'm going to take one more inhale, feeling all that space in my chest. And on the exhale, we'll lower down to our forward fold or ragdoll. If you like, feel free to come to the mat whenever you're ready. Use your hands for support, but our knees are bent. Our torso and chest are on our thighs. And whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and walk your hands down to the mat, walk your feet to the back, slowly lowering one knee at a time. Here we are in tabletop, but we're gonna go ahead and just transition down to our Sphinx. So we can move the hands to the top of the mat, slowly lower down. Feel free to bring that pillow or blanket back for our pelvic triangle. Our elbows are under the shoulders. The forearms and palms can be on the mat. We're tall in the crown. We're not hurting our back at all. If there's any pain or discomfort in the back, let's lower down. But we're going to try to keep those shoulders from the ears. Just opening up that heart space. Strengthening that spine. Staying with that breath. Inhaling big. And on the exhale, we can go ahead and find the mat with our favorite cheek once again, maybe windshield wipering our legs. And on an inhale, we can bring those feet to the mat. We'll press up through the fingertips under our shoulder, hearing lots of pops and crackles. The gaze is down in the mat. That's where we're going to find our seat. We'll go ahead and do some Jani Shirsanas or some head to knees. So the right leg can be long at the end of the mat. The left leg can be bent. The left sole or palm of the foot can be inside the inner right leg. Maybe you're sitting on a blanket or a pillow for support. Both of your sits bones should be grounded. And we're tall in the spine. And on an inhale, we'll go ahead and maybe hinge our belly button towards that right foot. And on the exhale, we'll just slowly hinge at the hips, making sure we don't round that spine. We want to stay nice and tall. So we give our belly a workout, give that lower back a workout. Maybe our hands are on our legs or the mat for support. I like the birds. It's nice hearing all these birds. And on an inhale, we'll go ahead and come on up. We'll go ahead and switch out legs. We'll send that left leg out long. Right foot is now inside that left leg. Inhaling, hinging that belly button towards the left foot. Exhale, we'll just go ahead and hinge forward. Maybe you kind of sway side to side. Lately, I've been stretching my sides a lot. I've been swaying a lot. If you need, you can always use a strap for your foot. All right, on the inhale, we'll go ahead and come out of that. We can do some bound angle or Baddha Konasana. This is great to kind of work up those, wake up those hips. So the soles of our feet are together. A lot of people know this is butterfly. We can be sitting on a block or blanket to take some pressure off our knees or back. You can flap these butterfly wings. It's morning time, may as well do that. It's a dynamic stretch. Every time those wings flap down, maybe we're getting a little bit deeper. If there's any pain or discomfort, by all means, you can hold it as a static stretch. It's a great yin posture, great for the knees. You hold it for 4 minutes, 3-4 minutes. Maybe we hinge forward a little bit, staying straight in that spine, but noticing as we hinge forward, maybe those knees kind of flutter down a little bit lower. Maybe they get a little bit more relaxed over time, not putting any pressure, letting gravity kind of just buoyantly just bounce these knees up. Staying with those long breaths. And maybe on one of those exhales, that last exhale, you just take your chin and tuck it to your chest, opening up some of that back vertebrae, those back cervical vertebrae, and that upper spine. And on the inhale, we'll go ahead and release the feet. We'll find a nice, comfortable moment to swing around. We'll get into our bridge and start to wrap things up. So for our bridge, we'll go ahead and make our way to the mat. We can rock down, holding our thighs if you like, slowly coming down one vertebrae at a time. Once we're down here, we'll take just a moment. Let's get comfortable. Maybe we bring our knees in, give ourselves a little hug. Maybe we press the lower back towards the mat, focusing on that now. Staying with those breaths, staying with that intention. And on an exhale, we can just let those feet drop right where they are. Here we are, our arms can be at side body, palms face up. There's blocks in that basket if you want to grab a block for this bridge, if you want something more restorative. We'll do some static to wake things up. So we're going to be pressing down with our feet. As we do so, our hips will rise. When we exhale, we will lower those hips. We'll do a round of 5. So here we go. As we inhale, we press through the feet, strong in those knees. The hips rise. As we exhale, those hips can come down nice and slow, finding their way to the mat. Second inhale, we'll inhale, raising those hips once again. Exhale, lowering them down. Inhale, those hips rise. Maybe this time a little taller, making sure we don't put any strain on our head or our neck. Inhaling one more time tall. maybe getting to our deepest expression, but we exhale and lower them down. These dynamic stretches are great to wake things up. It's great if you're tight from a long night's sleep. We'll inhale our 5th time, biggest expression. Hips are up. We're feeling strong. Belly is nice and extended. And as we exhale, we just slowly let those hips fall to the mat. Once again, we can bring those knees in, rocking side to side if you like. We'll go ahead and do our inversion. We've got some railing around, so if you want to get to a rail, you certainly can. We'll bring our feet, the soles of our feet to the sky. Here we are in waterfall. You can stay here, whatever's in your practice. All we're doing is letting the blood flow from our feet to our heart space. So we'll just take a moment. If you'd rather, you can do a happy baby, a shoulder stand, headstand, handstand, whatever you like. Just watching that blood flow, all that oxygen and those red blood cells, just helping it make its lap around the body. And whenever you're ready, by all means, feel free to come out of that inversion. You can bring those feet back to the mat if you like. You can sway those knees. You can hug those knees in if you prefer, releasing some of that pressure on the lumbar, whatever feels good. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and send that right leg to the end of the mat. We'll bring that left knee into our left shoulder. Maybe it's a little bit wider. Our legs are relaxed. Our arms are doing all the work. Maybe our feet are flexed, our toes are wiggling, but the legs are relaxed. And we can go ahead and release the foot down to the middle of the mat. On an exhale, we'll send that left leg across our body one last time, giving this spine a nice twist. That left hip is stacked over the right one more time. And on an exhale, our gaze can go to the left. Just taking a moment to feel relaxed. And on an inhale, we'll bring that left knee to center. And on the exhale, we'll let that left knee fall out wide. One more time, gravity kicks in. And on an inhale, we can insist that knee back to center. We'll send that left foot out long. Maybe shake those legs out if you like, and we'll walk that left foot in, reaching down, now hugging that, right leg. We're hugging that right knee into our right shoulder. My apologies. Once again, the legs are relaxed. Maybe you're giving your tummy a massage with that right leg, that right thigh. Feeling this wonderful breeze. And we'll bring that knee to our center. And on an exhale, we'll let that left hand bring that right knee across our body. Now our hips are stacked opposite, our right hip on top of our left. If it's in your practice, feel free to send that gaze out to your right with no pressure. And on an inhale, we'll bring that right knee up, sending it out wide for the very last hip opener of the practice. And finally, on that last inhale, that last 4-count inhale, we'll bring that knee to center. We'll send that foot out to the end of the mat. If there are any shapes that you missed or wanted to get into, by all means, this is the time. Otherwise, here we are, finding ourselves in corpse pose or shavasana, rounding out the practice. Maybe there's a blanket under your legs, maybe a blanket under your head. But our palms can be up, shoulder blades close together. Our breath is now relaxed. We're wrapping things up. Those toes can fall out wide. The belly now barely moving. Let's just take one moment, just think about why we're here and how we got here. Let's realize that 2 weeks ago, we had no idea we would be here this morning together doing yoga in Spring Park. Just a beautiful lesson and how we never know what to expect. So sometimes it's better just not to have expectations. Sometimes it's better just to live in the moment, be in the moment with yourself, with others. Take this last moment just to thank yourself. Thank yourself for this time. I thank you for this time. We're all on a journey. We're all on a journey just walking each other home. It's nice to stop every once in a while and just realize that it's okay to take a break. It's okay to love your body in a gentle way. We are different than we were when we started this practice. Our body is different. Our brain is different. Our molecules, our cells, we are different people than we were 45 minutes ago. And maybe you're starting to get awareness into those fingers and toes. Feel free to stay where you are as long as you like. Feel free to find your favorite side and maybe take a moment to just rest before we find our easy seat and wrap up the practice. Maybe you walk your feet in, maybe you sway your knees again, whatever you like, whatever wakes up the body, wakes up your soul. This is your practice. And here I am now in my easy seat, getting ready to wrap up the day. You guys do whatever y'all want. Take your time, do your thing. I'm going to sit here. My sits bones are nice and gently grounded. My shoulders are gently looped up, back, and down. I'm feeling relaxed but tall and definitely strong, definitely spacious, confident, calm, hopefully. And on that inhale, I'm going to go ahead and float my hands up one more time, reaching through the fingers, finding my palms in gratitude, exhaling my hands to my heart space and heart center. The light in me loves, honors, and adores the light in each of y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. It means so much. I hope to see y'all again. I'm so excited y'all are here. Namaste. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank y'all. Have a great day. Really appreciate it. Enjoy this wonderful weather. If you're in Northeast Florida and the Southeast, adios. Hello. Hello.